It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Abe Baniewski, an NLI Scout. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you got started being a scout?
Well, I played baseball back in Little League and high school and moved away from playing sports and things after college and actually went into podiatry school, and I am a podiatrist. But with the pandemic going on, I decided I would try to pursue some additional training, and I went to a school through a program called Sports Management Worldwide, based out of Portland, Oregon. And it's an online program where they have many different courses in all the different types of sports, and agent courses and marketing courses and things like that. And so I took a baseball GM and scouting course and also a baseball analytics course.
That's so wonderful. Can you talk about what you've learned whenever you took those courses, like a baseball GM course?
Well, I think the great thing about the course are that they're taught by people that have been in the industry, and one of the instructors was Hank Jones, a longtime baseball scout in the Pacific Northwest for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the other mentor or instructor was Dan Evans, who was an assistant GM for the White Sox and GM for the Los Angeles Dodgers, as well as many other positions in front offices for Major League Baseball. But to answer your question specifically, I learned a lot in regards to the technicalities of what to look for, but also the very important aspects of knowing a person on a human or interactive purpose or level. And I think that was an interesting thing. It wasn't from them, at least, a cut and dry sort of thing. It was a little bit more old school than some of the baseball teams are running things today with their their analytics departments, and just all the numbers and the number crunching and all of that. And so it was a little bit different perspective on things that way, but I think it was a look at the old way that scouts used to run or help in the whole process of baseball.
Can you talk about what an NLI Scout is?
Sure. NLI Scouting is a company that's based out of Florida. We look at, and I'm just one of the scouts for NLI Scouting. We also have other sports that we scout for as well. But I'm one of the baseball scouts in the Pacific Northwest. I'm actually the only baseball scout in the Pacific Northwest that we have. And so what I do basically is evaluate players, obviously based on their talent. How fast are they? What's their importance, I guess, of their academics? Because we look at kids and we try to evaluate them to see if they are projectable to play at the college level. So I look at high school players and maybe a little bit younger in summer leagues as well to determine if they are able to play at the college level.
What have you accomplished as a scout?
At this point in time, I just finished taking the classes The scouting course I finished 3 months or so ago. So I just recently joined NLI Scouting, but I would say that the biggest accomplishment to this point in time is already doing things like this, talking on podcasts and informing other future scouts or other high school baseball players of the importance of working hard and sticking to their dreams. And you can accomplish what you want to accomplish if you have the drive.
What do you look forward to accomplishing as the scout?
Well, I look forward to getting high school athletes to the colleges that they want to get to. I think the important thing with this is a couple things. Number one, succeeding in my job of making sure they're projectable, number one, and number two, getting them to be as happy as they can at the school that they decide to go to, as well as then secondly, if this leads to something with a professional baseball team, I would really have to seriously consider doing that, because that's initially why I took the class in the first place, is to work for a pro baseball team.
That's wonderful that you have aspirations to make it into the professional league as a scout. How is it like going to games and scouting players?
Well, it's exciting and interesting and a lot of different feelings all at the same time, for the simple fact that you don't know what you're going to see on a given day. You may have seen tape on the player and they look really good. And so you go, okay, I'm going to go watch this person live to see how they're doing and what they look like with my eyes on them for a game or even just a few innings. And you can't be swayed always by a player having a bad game. Sometimes, obviously, we don't get a hit every time up. We don't make every catch on a fielding play. We don't always pitch well. And so we need to marry what we see on tape versus and tape being what they send us, obviously more of highlight clips versus some of the things that might actually happen in a game.
Do you only scout out high school players to move on to college, or do you also do college to move on to, of course, the professional?
At this point in time, we're looking at high school players to get them to college. There's only the top echelon of players in high school that make it to college, let alone even significantly less than that go from high school straight to the pros. So it's a bigger number of players that we can reach and help. And I think that's the main answer to your question.
What advice would you give upcoming future scouts looking to get into scouting?
And going back to your other question, to answer that one as well, you asked earlier about accomplishments, and I think one of my accomplishments already has been to take an interview from a person that is in the baseball GM and scouting program that I just went through. And they wanted to know some of those things that you were just asking about in regards to what are you looking for and why did you become a scout and things like that. And so I guess that would be my first answer. What was the rest of the question? I'm sorry.
What advice would you give upcoming future scouts looking to get into scouting?
Okay. So the advice that I would give them is to realize that you need to at least think about or decide if you want to be open to scouting high school level and doing what I'm doing currently and working with kids that are projectable to college, or do you want to try to only work for a professional team? Or is there some other route that you may want to go that scouting can aid you in, such as working for maybe Rapsodo or somebody like that, where you can still use your knowledge of scouting, but you get to work with kids and or coaches in regards to getting them more technical tools to advance their skills that way, and make recommendations in the scouting avenue more so than actually being a scout. So there's different sort of angles and directions that you can go. I think that's an important thing, because of the fact that when I went into to this class, I was thinking solely and completely about being a professional scout, and people were questioning me because there was only X number of teams that you could potentially work for. And so I think if you open your eyes to the different possibilities, I think there's a lot more available than just working for the Major League Baseball teams.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the NLI Scouting?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and NLI Scouting is also on TikTok. We also have a YouTube channel, and so you can see lots of different videos that are posted there if you subscribe and all of that. And I think at this point in time, I mean, I haven't gone on TikTok yet or anything like that, but my email address is Abe, A-B-E, Bagniewski, B-A-G-N-I-E-W-S-K-I, NLI Scouting @gmail.com. So those are the different connections.
Thank you again, Abe, for your interview, and best of luck in the NLI Scouting programs.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You have a nice day, and thanks for interviewing me.
You're welcome. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Abe, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.